James Hannington was an Anglican missionary born and raised in England. He had arrived in the country in mid-1882 to preach the gospel on his way from Dar es Salaam. During his initial short stay in eastern Uganda, he suffered about malaria, which forced him to return to England for treatment in 1883. However, in June 1884, the 36-year-old was consecrated bishop by the then Archbishop of Canterbury Edward White Benson and sent back to Uganda in January 1885. Hannington, who was now based in present-day Mumias in Kenya, moved westwards towards Uganda and settled in Busoga with the intention of traveling to Uganda. However, at the time, Kabaka Mwanga II had been made aware by his oracles that Uganda's enemies would come from the east, so he dispatched kingdom chiefs in Busoga to spy on any foreigners settling there.
This place had tough bodyguards, the loyal guards for the chief and Kabaka Mwanga at the same time, whereby some whites were killed from this place, like Norman Alexander Wilson of Castle Park, Scotland.
So when Bishop Hannington arrived in Kyando, in present-day Mayuge District, to preach the gospel, the news reached Mengo.
He penetrated through thick forest and then reached the hill, not knowing that he had entered Chief Luba's palace.
The area is peppered with rocks, naturally shaped like a pulpit, and benches. This fascinated Hannington so much that he used them to preach the gospel.
This is the pulpit where Bishop James Hannington used to preach the word of God. And down here, we have a natural hall. The bishop used to draw water there for baptism. And down there, we have the stones used by his followers as seats, as he was preaching the word of God.
After preaching to the faithful, the bishop lived in a cave.
Cave is made in such a way that even if it rains, the person who is seated there can't get touched with rain. We have another special place, the library. Now, after carrying out the preaching, talking to his people, he used to read the Bible from that place.
Hannington relied on water from this well. It was here that the chiefs sent to spy on him found him. Following the arrest, Bishop Hannington's captors attempted to quiz him about the reason for his stay, but the two parties did not understand each other owing to a language barrier. After this, Chief Luba, Mukajanga's ancestor, sought the then Kabaka's council in Mengo. The orders for Hannington's execution followed. Bishop Hannington was first tortured by his captors, which led some locals to give him a nickname based on some of the English words he uttered as his life slowly came to an end.
After his arrest, we have another stone which is covered with water. Actually, it is in the swamp. That stone was covered with water weeds and very slippery. So after thorough interrogation, he was tried. He was asked to climb up the top of the stone, but all in vain. He couldn't make it. Kati n'agamba mu Luzungu, what shall I do? Bano bambi tebakitegeera ne bamuwa erinnya ati agambi ye what shall I do?
He was finally speared and beheaded on the 29th of October 1885 with some of his followers. The area of his execution has been preserved since.
This place is what we call the death point for Bishop James Hannington. And the small stone where I'm putting my legs, this is where the chief used to stand and make judgments. And that big stone, that is the murder stone where Bishop Hannington was murdered from.
This area in Kyando covers 250 acres, which have been given to the Anglican Church by the Busoga Kingdom.
And we are ready to support the church.
Indeed, special prayers are held here every 29th of October in his honor. Now First Deputy Prime Minister Rebecca Kadaga has set up a hotel here to cater for those paying homage to Hannington. It is heartening to note that Bishop Hannington's death was not in vain, as some of his surviving followers went on to spread the gospel and also helped to transfer his remains to the seat of the Anglican Church in Namirembe. Patrick Ssenyondo, NTV.